I'm Joe Ross for the Michigan Propane Gas Association. We're here broadcasting live in Detroit. We are at the ICOM facility. This is an organization, a manufacturer of systems that allow vehicles to run on propane. They can actually convert vehicles like this luxury vehicle here all the way up to large heavy-duty vehicles like this truck, this tow truck over here. Our first guest is Albert. He's the president of ICOM of North America. Albert, why, what goes through a fleet manager's mind when they approach you guys? I mean, what's the thought process? What are the things that draws them to wanting to convert their vehicles over to propane?
Three things usually, Joe. One, they want to reduce emissions and have a great sustainability program.
That's cool.
Reduce their fuel costs and use a domestic fuel source.
Okay, so there's three things. So it sounds like it's all about, it's green and the fact that there's a return on investment. Is that it?
Exactly.
Okay, so what's the sweet spot for somebody out there that's watching this show right now and they're thinking about calling up ICOM? What would they want? I mean, would they want to have at least 5 vehicles, 10 vehicles, 100? What's the sweet spot for considering doing the conversion and making money?
So for an example, they usually start with 2 to 5. They try those 2 to 5, and when they're happy, they'll go to dozens to hundreds to thousands. We have customers with thousands.
Right now on the road, what are some of the bigger fleets you've done? I don't need to know their names. That's fine if you can, but what's the size of some of the bigger fleets that have got a history?
UPS has over 1,000 vehicles with us in Canada. Historic Tours, which is trolley company, has a couple hundred vehicles. Dozens of paratransits with hundreds of vehicles. Metro Cars, hundreds of vehicles. Goes on and on and on.
Okay, and how many years? I mean, do some of these go more than a few years that you've been with them?
Yes. So as far back, so we started in 2004, and we've had fleets go back to 2004 and all the way up.
Okay, great. So there is a case study here. I mean, it's not like this is some old technology. Well, I should say it's been around for decades, but you guys are building the next generation of propane-fueled vehicles, right?
Yes. So our propane liquid injection system, ICOM patented, will power like this large tow truck with a vehicle on it and a vehicle behind it and tow it. And we're able to do that because of propane liquid injection. It gives more power, more torque, and so on.
Okay, so I want to talk about the fuel because we interviewed it was actually ABC Student Transportation actually is the name of the organization. It's one of the largest propane-fueled fleets in the state, and they've been doing it. This is their 3rd year, and the president of the organization said today he's going to be adding a lot more of them and replacing more of the gasoline and diesel trucks that they have because of the savings.
Yes.
I mean, like, what are you going to save on a gallon, just to give people an idea?
Normal idea is about $1 a gallon. It can be more, but about $1 a gallon is a normal savings. Consider on a large fleet using hundreds of thousands of gallons a year, or even a small fleet. It's huge savings.
Okay, if you've got a fleet vehicle and you're doing about 5,000 miles a month, add $1 to that in savings, and I mean that's your margin. That could be your profit margin right there.
Right. We have a lot of fleets that'll get a payback within 8 to 9 months.
Okay, Albert, thank you for the great work that you're doing, man. I appreciate it. Our next guest is Robert. He's a mechanic for ICOM. We want to get into the nitty-gritty questions because a lot of our viewers want to know, what do mechanics really think of this? I mean, you're out there, you travel all over the country helping people put these systems on and advising them. What do mechanics like about it?
It's fairly simple to install. I mean, anybody with any mechanic background can pretty much be trained to do the install. So, I mean, it's not really very difficult for them to learn how to do the install.
Okay, and you're a certified mechanic yourself?
I am not.
Okay, but you teach them how to put the system on?
That is correct.
Okay, so let me tell you though, what about why would a mechanic like this conversion? What do they like about a propane vehicle?
The maintenance intervals are extended on propane. So that's one of the big things. Yeah. The cost obviously is decreased because you don't have to change your oil as often, stuff like that.
Okay, so if I went up to one of these vehicles, a pure propane vehicle, and I put my finger in the exhaust, would it be clean? Because you say they're clean.
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to get that benefit too.
Correct.
Is that the connection why these last so long, because they burn so clean?
That's part of the reason why it burns, the engine runs a little cooler as well.
Okay, so there's a benefit there. Okay, how dirty is the oil when you do an oil change?
Oil's actually pretty clean.
Yeah, I bet it is. How many miles can it go in a fleet vehicle before they do the oil change?
I usually recommend 1.5 times as long as they normally go. So if you're going like 6,000 normally,
Okay.
extend it out to 9,000.
Okay, so there again, once again, in addition to saving money on the fuel, you're going to save money on oil changes as well.
Correct.
Okay, great to hear. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Robert. That's all we have time for today. I'm Joe Ross for the Michigan Propane Gas Association. Thanks for tuning in.